All right. So, if you're watching this now, this is actually directly following reassembling the electronics, putting the original pickups back in after all the hiccups, which can happen from time to time, but that's okay. Uh, but while we're here, we're going to go ahead and install the Hipshot, right? So it looks like this. This will go on the E string. We'll swap out this tuner for this. It should hopefully be an exact match. It can be that sometimes these are slightly thicker, and then you need to take a little bit out of the inside of the tuning peg hole. It shouldn't be. It should be fine because they're basically the same. Uh, they make a lot of different versions of this with different plates, right? This one is the ultralight, which is what this bass has on the back of it, right? Or these are the tuners that are used here, or these are the ultralight, so it matches. It's a match set. If you have more of the 70s Fender wide bass, you have those as well. They are in black. There are different sizes. There's even different lengths of this peg here. So it's always important that you check when you are doing it. You should find, usually on the pages that they come with, there is a little booklet. There's a little booklet like this, and on the back it has a code for the specific one. If you're not sure, the people at Hipshot have been always super helpful. If you don't know which one to buy, just send them an email. If you send them an email and you're like, hey, I'm trying to find the right extender for this, they will tell you, hey, it's this one, which is great. I had that same instance with my Thunderbird. I have a non-reverse Gibson Thunderbird, and I bought the wrong extender. It was actually too big, and it looked kind of weird having it on there. It looked out of place. You could see that it was not the right size. Then they were like, no, you need this one, which is then the smaller version, and then it was a perfect set. So if you're ever not 100% sure, just reach out to Hipshot and ask them. So let's do this. This should be relatively easy, as I mentioned. So with these tuners, it's really only one screw. And then the other part of it is that there is actually a nut, right? So let's look at this one first. So they all come nicely tied into this cardboard here so that they don't fall out. And all you really get here is two things, right? One is the tuner itself, which has this thumb switch, and then one screw. You need this specific screw because it has to sit behind the plate. Different versions of these might need a different way of doing it. I know when I've done it on a precision bass that has a wide plate, I've had to take this apart, so you have to take the screw out. You don't really have to do that with these here because since the plate shifts and it's pretty small, you can easily get to the hole without having to take this apart, which is great. You just have to take the shaft off, and there is also a washer on it, right? And it's two pieces. So this should slide directly through that, and then the actual tuner itself and the screw. Okay. What I've also found while doing this, I've had these tuners on a few different basses, a few different cases that it's been kind of hard to get them off. I ended up picking up just this, right? It's a ratchet. I don't have them anywhere. I have no sets of them, so I just picked up the single one that matches basically all of the Hipshots that are this size. That's another point. These come in two sizes usually, so it's 1/2 inch, and there's also 3/8. Oh, 3/8 is a very small or as a smaller, thinner one, right? And different basses will have different ones. I think the majority of them are 1/2 inch. I don't think I've come across 3/8 yet. I think I bought 3/8 once by accident, but important to check, right? Those are different if you're going to do this. Okay, so I've already taken the string off of the E, or actually I have not put it back on since doing it before. What we're going to do now is first we're going to loosen the nut in the front, and you'll see, since it's nice and easy, we can just do this. Slide it over and turn. It doesn't need to be overly tight, and it shouldn't be overly tight, right? And then we can easily take this off, just like that. Like that. And the washer, we'll take off the washer in a second. Then in the back, we're going to take out that one screw. Again, pretty easy. It's not. It's about the same size as the screw I showed you, so you just have to be careful. You don't want to drop it. what I end up always doing is just swapping this tuner inside of the packaging, right? So I'm going to try to walk and chew gum at the same time by not losing the screw or the washer now as I do this. Okay, so I have that, and then we're going to just finish pulling this out here. Okay, see, and it comes right out. Easy as that. What we're going to check very quickly is we're going to see if we have any issue here with the size. We should not, right? So it's a perfect fit actually. And as we put this through, it should then turn directly on it. So good for us, easy enough. Then we're going to just put this over the top and start to screw it. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. So this fits in the back, but this back hole is not big enough for the threads. That's fun. That's the fun part. So again, it's not very difficult, but we will need to do one extra step here. So bear with me. And we're back. So I was thinking, what can I do to actually make that fit? So there are two cases, two things we can do. In other cases, I have a reverend, and on the reverend putting in that, it was the same issue, right, where the nut actually didn't fit, and I had to take out some of the wood. In this instance, though, right, this actually fits fine in the front. It slips directly in. The problem here is actually they only routed out the hole up to the tip of the base of the nut here, right? So up to the base of this. So it fits right in. But this back here is wider. So if we take a look, let's see if you can, if I put it a bit closer, you can see that on the original tuner, it's pretty straight. It goes all the way down. But here, it kind of flares out when you get to this base. So it's just a little bit that has to come out right at the back. And in that instance, I can do two things. One, I could use a Dremel with a sandpaper fix to just basically take that out, but we don't have to do that. The other option I have is called a reamer, right? So this is something that you might have heard of before. It's tapered, which means that you can fit it and basically you can push it to make the hole slightly bigger. Because we only need to do the back here, I think doing the Dremel is a bit of an overkill. We can just do this. Also, then we don't need to plug stuff in and do a whole thing. A reamer is also super helpful, for example, if you have a pick guard where you are changing the electronics like we did before and the shaft of the pot doesn't fit through it. I had the same issue. Originally what these were purchased for were the Charvel because on the body itself, the pots of the new preamp didn't fit through the original holes because they were cheap old pots, very, very tiny ones with small shafts there.
What did he say?
Anyway, the pot fitting through it. Oh, God. So the reamer does what it sounds like, right? It reams. It makes the hole slightly bigger, and there are different sizes, right? So I have one that's a bit thinner, and I have one that's slightly thicker. And if we put it through, you can see this one slides all the way through. But this one, if I put it through, it will stop. It gets stuck right here, which means that it should give us just enough room to make it bigger so that we can fit it and we can make it kind of easy. So it just goes in, and then we're going to do a turn back and forth like this, just a little bit, a couple of turns. We're not going to go too crazy because we don't need to. We don't need that much space. We just need to make it slightly bigger. Yeah, we're almost there. And it's only really at the back, so we can put it in again. And it's just going to take some chunks out of the wood. It sounds bad, but it's basically like a hand sander here. That's just going to make the back a little bit bigger, so that way we can fit it in. And let's test it again. And now it fits. See, pretty painless. It's scary. It sounds scary, but it's not so scary. Then what we're going to do is we're going to continue, right? So that was it. Easy enough to make the hole slightly bigger to fit this now drop tuner. So we're going to put this here again in the front, and then we're going to put this in. And now, easy. We can pick up from where we stopped before. All right, I'm going to tighten this nut just with my hand a little bit. And here, I'm going to leave it loose because what I need to do is to line this up with where that hole is. For hip shots, they should be direct lineup, so you can see, I don't know if you can from there, but the hole directly lines up with the base plate, right? Then we take that flat-headed screw, and that's why it's important to use this screw, because it has to sit under there flat. And then we're going to go ahead and replace this one in here. Pretty easy, right? It's not too crazy. It sounds scary, especially with the reamer, and when the hole doesn't fit, you don't want to break anything, you don't want to ruin it, but it's okay. Again, we don't want to over-tighten it, we don't need to over-tighten it, and then we're good to go. And this will close, and that's it, right? So we've now put in or installed this drop tuner. And this thumb screw here is going to be for the drop D, or for whichever drop note that you want. So this will be extended, right? It will change depending once we start to tune it up. So let's do that, and then we'll test it out. Okay, so it's a new day. Coming back to take a look at the Hipshot Xtender. So we installed it yesterday. You can take a look, right? Here it is here. It's working, it's good. It's actually sat overnight. I think that helped it a little bit. Just the string, every time you take the strings on and off, sometimes they need to resettle. Also, I think with the set, while it's really great, I think has a weird issue with the nut, but all good. So we're going to test it out. I'm going to record it and play some of the audio here so that you can hear it. Yeah, let's put it over a track. So right, drop D, just like that. And then back up to the E. Easy. Let's try a drop D song.